Luke 21:25 through 26. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. We have looked at all these things in part 1 and part 2. And now we look at Luke 21:9 through 11. The first sign, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Jesus identified these as birth pains, which means they would increase in frequency and magnitude.
The 20th century has been the bloodiest century ever. In World War I, countries mobilized against each other with metal machines of war. Followed by World War II, the bloodiest war ever. From Pearl Harbor and the great sea battles to the atom bomb. The loss of life was horrific. The war machines became more powerful. Then the Korean War, often known as the Forgotten War, and resulting in a North and South Korea. followed by Vietnam. Jungle warfare and napalm. And troops trapped between politics at home and war. The Gulf Wars, where technology continued to increase. Whatever the United States military could see, it could destroy. Resulting in the highway of death. Superior air power. Shock and awe. Followed by the conflicts in the Middle East with Israel and terrorist elements. The 20 years in Afghanistan was Biden's blunderous.
The Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
Is the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No. This guy met with the Afghan government here in the White House in the Oval. I think they have the capacity to be able to sustain the government.
Today, the president of Afghanistan fled the country.
As the Taliban moves in, the West moves out. American helicopters busy over Kabul all day today, ferrying diplomats from the US Embassy to the airport. 20 years after their first experiment in power came to a shattering end, the Taliban are back. Hours after arriving in Kabul, sit at the president's desk.
Thousands leave the country as it falls into the hands of the Taliban. Afghanistan is falling.
And a desperate crush at the Pakistan border crossing as people try to flee. And chaos at the airport as thousands of Afghans desperate to get out.
Thousands of tons of U.S. military hardware falls into the hands of the Taliban.
3 weeks ago when your food went out, weapons and ammunition and more.
It's our belief that one day Mujahideen will have victory.
Afghanistan, do you see any parallels between this withdrawal and what happened in Vietnam with some people feeling...
None whatsoever. Zero. What you had entire brigades breaking through the gates of our embassy. 6, if I'm not mistaken. The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy of the United States from Afghanistan.
Will come not to just Afghanistan, but all over the world. We are not in a hurry. We believe it will come. believe it will come one day. Jihad will not end until the last day.
But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, Jesus said in Luke 21:9a. As he put it in Matthew, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled. Why? Well, for one, it says before all these things, Luke 21:12. In other words, the disciples would be persecuted and killed before all these things even happened. These were written for a time after the disciples. Jesus said wars and rumors of wars. Isn't that an interesting way to put it? Don't the rumors come before the wars? But this is a birth pain sign. Interesting how we've seen a lot of major wars over the last century. And now we're seeing a lot of rumors of wars. And a lot of commotions. Countries group up and conduct war exercises. China, which has been bullying for quite some time, has made itself an enemy of many. United States, Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, Vietnam, India, and their allies on one side. Meanwhile, China has found new allies in the Taliban and in Iran and of course North Korea. China said if Japan gets involved in any kind of conflict with Taiwan, that it would nuke them into submission. Meanwhile, Russia flexes its muscles against the Ukraine. Forces rise up to take Afghanistan back from the Taliban, backed by Russia. Could these rumors of wars be setting things up for the wars to come in the tribulation? Are we that close? Interesting how Jesus said there will be wars and rumors of wars for the birth pains, and then for the tribulation, wars.